42 Target Chevrolet. Juan has 4 top 10s here at Pocono in 12 races, 3 top 10s in the last 5 races, including a runner-up last week at Dover. He's up to 22nd in the point standings. Juan, talk about your approach heading in here at Pocono.
Well, as you said, Pocono has always been a pretty decent track for us. I think the shifting helps. And when they repaved the track, it seemed to help us, even boost us last year. Last year we were on pole here the first time they repaved it. And to be honest with you, we were not even, we didn't have really good cars. So we did a really good job. We timed it where you used to be, fastest car used to go out last in practice. It wasn't a draw. So we knew we wanted to try to go out really early, so we didn't post a good lap on purpose. And, it worked well. So having, good results here is important. And, this with the speed of the car this year, I'm excited to be, to be here and run here. We seem to be good everywhere we go. It seems the smoother the track is, the better we run, so it should be fun.
All right, we'll open up for questions. We'll start here with Woody. We'll go over to Terry.
Woody Kane with MRN. Juan, you and Jamie have both been saying you've been feeling change coming with your team and getting better, but what I'm curious about is when did you start to notice it? Before it started to show up in the stats, or can you pinpoint a time when it started to feel like, yeah, we're getting there?
But we had a lot of speed since we unloaded with this car. Since we started working on the new car, the car had a lot of speed, and it seemed we could qualify really well, but we couldn't race that well, and Jamie was the other way around. Jamie couldn't qualify and could race really well, so, we paid a lot of attention to what he was doing, and to be honest with you, we just made a lot of mistakes as a team. We had a lot of failures and, loose wheels, and, we had, Bristol, we had a car easily for a top 5, and we had a fuel pump problem. California was a good track for us, and the selector of the gearbox came off, with handle and everything, so I had to change the whole gearbox during the race. We had 2 or 3 loose wheels on the green, a flat tire in Martinsville. It's kind of crazy that we had 100% more speed than last year, and we were finishing in the same place as last year when we had no problems. That it was kind of weird. And when we got to, I think, where were we? Probably Richmond or around there. Danica was ahead of us in points. We were 30-something in points. So it was like, man, we just got to stop making mistakes. And we really talked to the guys and talked to everybody, and said just, we just got to execute. Each person's got to do its own little thing. And if we do, do we have the fastest car there yet? No, we don't. We're close, yeah. We're going in the right direction. We still need a little bit of work, but we got cars. If we do everything right and we have a decent car, we got top 10s, even top 5 cars. And we went into Richmond with that mentality. We nearly won there. We went to Darlington. We ran well there. We ran well, in Charlotte we crashed, and the guys were all, we were all disappointed. And I said, hey, we crashed, we wrecked because the 48 spun, and we got wrecked with the 48 and the 20, running there with them. When was the last time we were running with them? Think about it, year and a half, since we were running good. So from everything that has happened, it's been positive. Last week was positive. We had a really good car. Same thing again. We were really good. We're just missing a little bit of speed, and I think we just got to keep our heads down and keep doing our work, and we'll be fine.
Terry Blunt, ESPN.com. Juan, you may have heard what Jimmy said when you walked in. Okay, well, he continues to maintain that you clearly and deliberately did not restart. You stopped forcing him to restart ahead of you to get to the line. Then he says he continues to maintain that he tried to give the position back, and you wouldn't take the position back. So what's your feeling on it?
Okay, if I did that, why only Jimmy passed me on his lane? If you think about it. Even if I had let's say I had a bad start, and he beat me by a bumper or half a car length, NASCAR wouldn't say anything. But it was Jimmy, the field. So I'm okay with it, you know what I mean? He didn't, if you pay attention, we were coming to the cones, he didn't even want to line up next to me. He was actually dropping back he wanted to time it, and he just mistimed it. It's all good, it's racing.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. 2 things. One, Jimmy said he's going to go talk to NASCAR because he would like it to be crystal clear. He's not clear on the rule, and he thinks that you found a loophole in the
Did
rule. Asking you.
Wow, I'm that good. Oh, man, that's a compliment. But the loophole is that you got to start between the cones, and the leader's got to. I think the start says if you got to restart between the two cones that I did, and you're not supposed to beat the leader to the line. What's so hard about that? You know what I mean? I read a quote of him this week. I was sitting in my house and I read a quote, and he said that if he wouldn't done that, the 42 would have beat him. I'm like, well, I'm the leader, not you. I was thinking it's like, I know you dominated the race, but we came to a pit stop and we did a better job than you guys. And as we did a better job than you guys, we're the leader, not you. And crazy enough, if he would have backed off, let me go, he would have probably passed me again. It would have been all good. You know what I mean? He wanted to time it really well, where he didn't have to deal with me through turn 2 and 3, 1 and 2. But he mistimed it, and that's it. No drama.
There also was some really interesting discussion this week on two camps. A very good question. You said, am I that good? That's the question. One, how good are you on restarts? One camp is like, he's not used to leading the race, and the other camp is like, he's so darn good, that he was able to figure this out. How good are you on restarts?
Restarts, I normally do a really good job in restarts, not getting up. It's not so much about how you get up the line, but how you go through the first corner. There's no science. There's two cones, and as a leader, you decide between the two cones when to go. And it's up to everybody else to follow the leader's pace. No, I think that's the rule. If I put it this way, if I would have restarted and Jimmy passed me and 4 cars followed Jimmy, I think NASCAR would have said, the 42 had a bad start. But how is it that only Jimmy went away? It's like, I don't know. I don't know. He's probably that good. I don't know.
We're going to go Mike, then we'll have Al and Reed.
Mike Embry, USA Today Sports. One was, can we look at last week as sort of a quantum leap for you in your search for an oval win?
We were close in 09 and 10, but I think, to be honest with you, I told the guys, look, to be able to win is not only having one chance at like what happened in Richmond. Is everything came right, and at the last minute, caution came out and we didn't win. You gotta be able to give yourself a few chances. You gotta run in the top 5. You gotta run in the top 10, and if you can do that, the wins will come. There's gonna be a week when you do the right call, and the car, and everything's going to line up right, and you're going to win the race. There's weeks where you're going to make mistakes, but the only way to win is to be there and give yourself plenty of chances. And we're doing that, and I think I'm aggressive enough as a driver where if I had opportunity, I'm going to take it. It was kind of weird last week. When that last one, we were really tight, and and Tony was coming on the bottom really fast. So I said, the only thing I can do is make sure I don't miss the bottom so he can put the nose in, like I can do a small diamond. And I got to make sure I come off the corner. And he rolled the top, and when he got there, I was wide open, and there was really... if I would have kept it wide open, we would have wiped each other out, and there's no point. I'm pretty certain as well then when to give up. You got to... Where we are in points, yes, we need the wins, but we need the points too. I wouldn't gain anything by wrecking with 3 to go and finish 30th. So you got to be, we got to be smart about that.
We have Al right here.
Juan, Al Pierce, Model Week. One thing should be said. Jimmy said he's not mad at you. He's kind of admires that you found a way to beat him. But anyway,
he should tell me what I did, because
anyway,
I haven't figured it out myself.
But he says he's pretty smart. My question is this: there are those who say that you are running better now, recently, because somebody has told you need to pick it up, whether it's your sponsor or your owner or whatever. Are you driving for your career now?
I
or
always
you just
drive
have
for my
better
career.
stuff?
We just got better stuff. So I got a question. So last year we had, Jamie and myself, let's say we had a deal for this year. That was not the case, but let's say that. And we were running, both of us, we were running 20s every week. And this year we all decided, you know what, I'm tired of running 20s. I want to, let's run top 10 this year, just for the sake of it. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You know what I mean? Do people want to, the hard thing with this sport is, they look, you look for you want to say why you're not running good. And then you can say, there's a crew chief, is a car, is this, and it gets to a point that, they're going to point the finger, at the driver. And that's the reality, and it's always been that way. You know what I mean? I drive as hard as I can, and I just really focus on doing my job. Am I running 25th or 5th? I'm driving the wheels out of the car.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire Service. Juan, you've been real close twice this year. Do you feel like you still need an oval win to validate the NASCAR experience, and do you feel like one's coming this year?
I hope they come, you know what I mean? And I think once we break that, we're going to, get quite a few wins. I still feel our car needs to be a little bit quicker, you know what I mean? We can put ourselves in positions to win, but I think our cars need just a tick more speed to. I think we gained about 80% of what we needed from last year to this year, but I think that last 20% is going to be a little bit harder.
All right, we're going to wrap up with Candace and then Jeff.
I want Candace Smith drafting the circuits. We talk a lot about Jimmy Johnson today, but I want to know what it was like with Tony Stewart all over your back, what that felt like, and then I have a follow-up.
Well, they said, okay, I looked in the mirror, I saw it was a 14. I thought, I've been quicker than him all day, and then I looked in the mirror again, and it's like halfway there in 2 laps. I'm like, I'm in trouble. Yeah, I'm driving as hard as I can, and the problem with this car is, driving it harder or going in deeper, you actually just got to slow down. So you got to drive it to what the car will give you. And maybe a little more, you try a little more, especially because you're only running 20 laps. So you'll try to kill the tires and you'll do everything you can. But it gets to a point that that's all you got. And that's all we had. And, I respect Tony a lot. We always run really clean with each other. And he had the better car. If you look at it, the 24 was coming. Yeah. Put it this way, if the 14 wasn't coming, the 24 was coming anyway. So it was one of those deals that, once he got outside of me, I knew I had nothing. Going into turn 3, what am I? The only thing I can do is drive it hard enough where I can spin underneath him, and that would have been even, pretty stupid.
Well, the follow-up is this: I heard you say that you read something this week about Jimmy, and I wanted to know how much you do put into reading the articles.
I don't.
And I was wondering because I know
I saw it in Twitter. Somebody put it on Twitter. That Jimmy said this about the start because he's all mad, and I just clicked on the link. My family is in Colombia this week, so I'm myself at home. I was like, yeah, a lot of time.
But with everybody saying, you need the oval, you need this, so you're not reading over the years.
It's the only thing I do. It's when I'm going to the airport, I look where we are in points, where we improved, if we have a bad day, where we drop and what's going on. On Mondays, I do a call-in. I live in Miami, so when I'm not in Charlotte, I'll do a call-in to the team meeting, and we discuss, what happened in the race through the weekend, where we did what I thought was right, what I thought was wrong, and where we need to, felt where we need to improve. And that's it, and then, I'll talk to Sean a couple times during the week to see what we're doing for the next weekend, and that's it.
All right, we'll go 2 more. We'll go Jeff and then Terry.
Jeff Ross, ESPN. Juan, how much are you influenced personally from a confidence standpoint by results? Are you pretty level-headed and do you maintain your composure as a driver, or do good results improve your confidence behind the wheel?
No, I'll tell you, the only time I've been really excited this year, like a good result, you're going to laugh. It was in the duels, when we finished 3rd in the duels. I was like, oh, yes. We finished a restrictor player race, finally. This year, Daytona, it's kind of weird because you look how racing is. We went to Daytona, and I said, okay, we're going to run up front. We're going to try to run up front all day and stay there. And the one car says, I'm just going to ride on the back. And we both, he was running 42nd, I think, and I was running 6th. And we both got involved in the same wreck. I was like, what do? You know, we went to Talladega. We had a really good car in Talladega, and we had an electrical problem. And, you know, rain came, and we couldn't even restart the car. We got 3 laps in the pits trying to get the thing restarted. So it's like, man, it got to a point that we couldn't get a break with anything. And now, you know, now we're good. You know, we're doing what we need to be doing, and whether, you know, something that I think we're doing good, or whether we have a good practice, bad practice, or whatever we do, we just keep our head down. We know what it works, and, you know, I think we're complementing each other with the team really well, with the engineers. You know, I think my relationship with Shine and the 2 engineers, it's really good right now, and they know what I want out of the car, and I know how to get it across what I need. And I think that makes a big difference.
Terry Blunt, ESPN.com. So, Juan, if you get to the final restart Sunday, Jimmy's first, you're second. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm going to beat him by 10 car lengths. Now, you guys are wrong.